Hi there. Today is Saturday, January 15th, 2022. This is week of Create Brilliance. How you doing? I have to say that this year has had some Oh, because of course I'm getting ready to go out of town next week. I'm heading out to Arizona for almost like 3 weeks, but only like 2 weekends. Anyway, like I fly out on a Tuesday, I come back on a Friday. So it's like almost, depending on how you look at it, it's like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. Anyway, no problems. I have got my laptop set up and should not have a problem recording and uploading videos while I'm away. Um, so yeah, that was one of the things that I did. I've been working on this week was getting ready to be away from home, but also be, productive while I'm not home. Um, I'm not in Georgia, so there was that. But of course, what is the world going to do when you're getting ready for a trip? It's going to throw you a curveball. And so my body decided to go, haha, we're going to slow you down for a little bit. And I ended up at urgent care on Friday morning because it was less busy than my doctor's office um, to get a little issue checked out. And it's okay. I'm on meds and feel better. You know, Thursday night was really bad. I felt like, oh, yeah, not great, but all good now on the mend. But yeah, so that was fun. But before that happened, um, aha, I finished the manuscript for book three. Hey, yeah, finally. Oh my goodness, it's been a lot. And and then I because again, I wasn't feeling well, and I part of me was like, yeah, I don't want to have to make multiple trips out to after I've printed it to get it bound. I was like, well, wait a minute. Maybe Office Depot has like same day service in their like print department. Haha, they do, at least stuff like this. And so I was able to upload the manuscript, have them print it out, and then just go by them once. And so that was actually really convenient. A little bit more than just having it bound at the guest store, but all things considered, okay. Um, and it's a little bit thicker too. It's not any longer, but it's a little bit thicker because I actually had this printed out in true like double spaced, so that I would have a little bit more room for inline adjustments as I read through it and edit it. Yeah, so that is ready to go with me and edit. And, whew, yeah, having that first draft. Am I behind? Oh, I'm still behind. Will I make my upload deadline? I might have to push it, but hopefully not as much as I don't know. We'll just see how quickly things go. Other things I've been up to. I had a couple of book clubs this week. One was picking books for the upcoming year, and one was the book to art group, which is so much fun. And I did learn in December when we had like a little, holiday meetup kind of thing at a local restaurant um, that this is like or maybe it was before that. I don't know. But anyway, I learned that it is a national program. This is not just something that my local library does. Um, so by all means, check out. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked see if there's like a central repository of this of information. But I do know that the librarian that runs our group got the idea from somebody else who so yeah, the information is out there. So if book to art sounds like something that you'd find interesting, then definitely check to see if your local library or library system offers something. And the way it works, at least at ours, and I think for the most part, every in each group, is that everybody reads a book just like a normal book club. And instead of just coming around to sit around and discuss it, you do something creative, artsy, tactile, or something while you're talking about the book. So that was really cool. This month we had read Paranessie by Suzanne Clark, and it was an interesting book. I think I mentioned it last week because I was just starting to read it, and it was kind of a little bit of a slow start. I will tell you that, but once you get into it, it actually does get kind of interesting, and so I don't want to say too much about it. Um, I I believe it falls under like yeah, I think it would fall under science fiction, but it's fairly kind of interesting. Um, anyway, so there's that, and in this book, there's this labyrinth or house with all these like infinite numbers of halls and rooms and so forth, and in every one there are all these statues, and the main character ascribes meanings or stories to them. And so when we got to book club, we had a paper plate with a slab of air dry clay sitting on it, waiting for us to create, our favorite statue or, our favorite thing from the book. Um, I don't know if I would call this my favorite, but it was the one that came to mind immediately. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. Go with your first instinct. Um, may not always be right, but you should always go with your first instinct. You might just learn something from it, one way or the other. Anyway, so the statue I remembered was a fox teaching some ducks or geese. I think they were ducks. He would like it kind of reminded me of like Aesop's fables with the talking animals and so forth. So yeah, that's what I did. So I made a little fox and a couple of ducks, and I'm gonna hold it up here and see. Kind of whoops, the quacker is falling over because yeah, it's still on a paper plate. I haven't like permanently mounted these little dudes to anything. Now I just did the sculpture here, the shaping and everything, while at the library, and then it needed to air dry, of course, for 24 hours. I gave it about a day and a half, actually. And then I decided I was going to go ahead and paint it because my little fox, somebody thought it was a squirrel at first. And I could see, it's like it kind of almost looked a little trash panda ish, raccoonish around the face. So I'm like, yeah, I would definitely need to paint it. And then I decided to paint the ducks, little mallard ducks. They even have little flippers, little feet on the bottom. And, this one's got a stone that he's sitting on. And I like this one, because he's kind of, he's kind of got his head tilted, and that's always interesting. But anyway, so I did that. Um, so that was what Tuesday and Thursday was, and then on Friday night, now that the holidays are done and we've returned to kind of normal, um, I resumed my ongoing Friday night knitting of knitting Christmas balls. And again, I still haven't stuffed them. This is Christmas ball number 12 from the Arnie and Carlos 2020 Christmas ball advent calendar, and its name is Halling, Halling, which when you look it up, it comes like Norwegian Halling. It's like a dance, but in this case, so I'd have to go back and look over their advent videos where they talked about each one that year because I don't remember, but yeah, but this is more like it reminds me of like some leaves and then like maybe some ribbon and like a little thing, or it's just a traditional Norwegian pattern, I think. Um, but this was a lot of fun in it. This was probably one of my favorite patterns to knit because there wasn't a lot of extra floating that had to be done for the color work. It's spaced out enough to where um the floats were very natural. I didn't have to do a lot of extra twists, like only a couple small parts. Um, so I liked this pattern for simplicity. What else? Oh, um, again, getting ready to go out of town. Doing so much stuff, a lot of preparation. I got to start packing after I finish this video. Um, So, yeah, the other thing I had to decide on was my travel knitting project because I finished my last shawl They're the one I was most recently knitting. And while I have a number of projects that are works in progress, in fact, if I went back and I compared the video where at the beginning of 2020, where I showed all of my UFOs, go to the Return to Creativity playlist and look for the little cover with the UFOs on it. Yeah, I think I had like 9 or 10 fiber work projects. Um, yeah, most of those are still works in progress. They're still UFOs. But they're not necessarily well suited for travel because, well, they're just not. Either they're too big and bulky, or like the ones that require stuffing. That's just not something that's to do on a plane or in an airport, and not something I want to get spread all over my partner's apartments. um and or they take a little bit too much time. Like I've got a couple of projects where they're very involved, and so they're not something that I can easily do just to kind of keep my hands busy. um like if I'm on the plane, or if and it's too noisy or whatever to edit, or we're watching a movie or something and I just need my hands busy. So I went browsing through my yarn and browsing through the patterns that I'd collected, like on Ravelry. I'm Scraps of Life on Ravelry, by the way. And I came up with 2 projects, and I was trying to decide which one I was going to start with. Because I know, I was like, yeah. And I had like one other one um, that I thought I was going to do, but I'm like, yeah, that might be a little more complex than I want to do while traveling. So I'm going to put that one off because yarn's not going anywhere. And so I found 2 projects. One of them, and these are both, I was drawn to the picture of the project before I saw the name of the project. And then when I saw the name of the project, I was like, oh, that's just too perfect. So I have two, I have two. And yeah. So one is Sonora Plus. It is a shawl pattern, a triangular shawl pattern by All You Knit Is Love. Um, and it's it has to do with the Sonoran Desert, which was one of those things that I ended up doing a little bit of research on when I was working on the Sammy this Snaggletooth Sidewinder Wants to Be a Star coloring book. Because I was, in my mind, the snake was in Arizona. But I was like, wait a minute, is this appropriate? Do they have sidewinders in Arizona? And yes, they do. They do. And yeah, and the Sonoran Desert kind of goes up around the Phoenix area, but it also stretches, I think, through New Mexico and then into Sonora, Mexico itself. And so I have these 2 colors of knitwise fiber. One is Isla Morada and one is Teal Love. They are 75% superwash merino, 25% silk. Very soft and very pretty. So yeah, one's a solid, one's a variegated. And so I'm going to be doing the Sonora Plus in that. And I think that will be really cool. But the other project, and I was really debating on which one I was going to do first. Um, but the other project is, oops, called Crimes and Knitting Hercule Poirot Holidays. And this is, uh, um, yeah, so this is another shawl. This is like a semicircle shawl. It is by Alice alias Lapindalis, Celia alias Hathor Knits, and Magdalena alias Triple L de Mag. And it's available in French and English. Um, so yeah, it's something else, and it's like a lot of charts, but it's also written out too. So you can do either. Thank goodness, because I'm not the best at knitting just strictly by charts. Um, and I just thought that, it says, after 2 busy months and a frightful murder, our dear Poirot needed a vacation. So he joined his beloved Villa Corleone Corleone with the shawl knitted for him by Miss Marple to be forgiven for recent events. And I just thought that since I'm writing cozy mysteries, that it was just perfect to also do that shawl. So I'm like, which one do I do? At first, I thought I was going to do this one, and then I realized that the Sonora Plus was just as appropriate. And so I'm bringing both with me. I'm going to start with the Sonora Plus because it seems the slightly simpler of the two, and the yarn is already in cakes. And as a backup project, because I am going to be there for almost 3 weeks, and depending on how things go, I might have time to knit, I might not. I don't know. I don't know. So I also chose yarn to go with the Hercule Poirot um shawl, and this is So Happy Jane, which folks who know my knitting habits would not be surprised by. And this is actually this is her silky cashmere, which is 70% merino, 20% cashmere, 10% silk. Push off. I thought these purples, these variegated purples, would be really nice and like kind of fit the moodiness and the art, the style of the Poirot mysteries. At least the ones that I've watched more so than not. And then the light purple color is a little bit shy, and the darker purple blend is decadence. Again, I thought those were apt names and like thematically correct. And yes, when I when I travel, so many things, especially from Amazon, come in these like, these ziploc or zipper closed plastic bags. I tend to keep those and reuse them, and they're great for travel. And anyway, so that is what I have been doing. I really don't think I have much in the way of pithy commentary on the concept of brilliance right now, because I do feel so scrambled and scattered. But all in all, I feel like I'm still taking steps towards it. Last week I was talking about being in the depths and under stress and under pressure, and how much pressure does it takes like billions of years in natural circumstance for coal to become a diamond. Um, we don't have billions of years, you know. If we're lucky, we get 70, 80, maybe 90 years. Um, so yeah, we don't have that all that much time, but we can polish and ourselves, and we can find the facets of ourselves that need to be shown, that need to be lined up, that that are worthy. We're all worthy. It's just the choosing the parts that we want to shine. And so yeah, this year, like last year, I'm choosing the writing. I'm choosing creativity. I'm surrounding myself with people who are in the same boat, at least creatively. I have a wonderful group of writers that I do writing sprints with, um, and we're all types of authors. And it's so wonderful to have other writer friends online. I have art friends on Twitch and Discord. I have it's I'm surrounding myself with people not that are with at the same pursuits, not create not to create a bubble or an echo chamber, but quite the opposite, because everybody comes from a different background and has different points of views. Maybe they write or they create different things. So it's not an echo chamber. We all have different ideas about things, and I think the more we learn about each other, um, the more informed we become. Um, but being around people that are, you know, that have similar goals, that have similar dreams, and are doing their version of what it's going to take to get them there, I think is super helpful. It's super inspiring, and it's also when you hit a snag, you hit a roadblock, your friends and your family, yes, they feel for you. They want to support you, but at the same time, people who have gone through it or are going through it are going to be the ones that will be able to, to really support you even more. And likewise, and similarly, you can be that for other people too. So whatever your community is, whoever, you align yourself with to, to be a part of that group, that community, that tribe. Um, yeah, I mean, it can be so beneficial and so helpful. And I'm fiddling with stuff on my desk, and so yeah, I guess that's my pithy comment for. Still doing battle with the stupid insurance. I think I mentioned that last week. That was part of what was draining and tiring. Beginning of the year, we have such high hopes for it, but January is just such a slog sometimes after the holidays that I think, we almost put too much emphasis on it at times. So anyway, I need to get to work, like packing and sure that my suitcase isn't overweight and all that. I need to do some work on that. I'm trying to pack light. I'm trying to only bring one bag, but I know I'm going to be bringing stuff back from Arizona too. So I'm like, packing a second bag inside so that I can, the whole thing. I've got like this whole thing in my head now to see if I can actually get it to work and, keep my suitcase from being over 50 pounds because those penalties are not, they're not joking. They're not joking. I have some N95 masks, or well, they're KN95, so not appropriate for medical situations, but they're, from what I'm understanding, they're better than cloth masks for being out in the wild world right now, especially, threat of Omicron. I'm doing everything I can to be safe while I travel. Masks are required in airports and the planes themselves. Um, so, I will be doing my level best to stay safe and healthy while I am away. And again, you'll hear from me regularly. I do not envision any issues getting my videos made and uploaded on Sundays per usual. Yeah, we should be good. They might be a little briefer, but we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, this is the big project, of course, is the editing, and I'm looking forward to getting going back over the beginnings of the story and making sure that I haven't like left anything funky out. But yeah, yeah, no, I think it's all good, and crossing fingers that I can keep up with my release date. I don't know. January 31st means that I have to have it uploaded by the evening of January 27th, and that's only 12 days away as I'm recording this. And that's going to be, yeah, that's a little bit of a tough sell, but it's not impossible, it's just tough. Might have to push the date a week, I don't know. But until then, um, have a wonderful one, and I will see you next week. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, as best you can. Um, and if you're going through, what is it, the Winston Churchill? If you're going through hell, keep on going. Um, and I know somebody made that into a country song at some point, and the song's not too bad. So, just keep on plugging, friends. The world needs you out there, and I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a week. Bye.